I'm actually trying to pitch Dave Portnoy. We're trying to get him in the line. You think he'd go for it?
If it's a figure of him and it pleases his ego and he can make a single dollar off of it, yes, I think he would go for it.
Can we put on the screen? Do we have that image? Because we have it. I'm always ready.
You got it. Let me see it.
Check your phone, Brandon. Check your phone.
The good news, the good news about a Dave Portnoy action figure, if it's like this big, it can be life size. It is Rasslin. Rasslin rides again. Rasslin, the #1 professional wrestling podcast in this room currently, and we have a guest today.
That can't be true.
We do have a guest. You're a guest.
No. The #1 wrestling. There's no way that's real.
This is #1 wrestling podcast in this company. It is.
Okay. How many are there?
Well,
in Barstool?
Huh?
It's
not that big of a deal. Numbers are numbers. Meltzer, we can make ratings look any way we want.
That's true.
My boss hit my line with an angry text saying something about B90X. I said wrestling. I'm going to wrestling. Then my phone blew up.
Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona is the guest today. I decided to quit fucking around with an intro. Like I could sit here and say, "Hey, welcome to wrestling." No, it's Matt Cardona. Like you obviously see him busting out of his shirt over there. I don't have to sit here and pretend that he's not here. So Matt Cardona, who just recently returned to GCW after an injury, I believe you tore your pec. Is that correct, Matt Cardona?
I did. I'm not sure if you know. Your pec is your chest.
No. First of all, let's just make sure.
Some people don't know.
We're all being friendly here. We're all being friendly. I have a chest too, Matt. You're not the only person with a chest.
This is more for the listeners. Some people don't know what a pectoral muscle is. I have to dumb it down for them.
I got a question.
Sure.
Real quick.
You're stripping for me.
Yeah. Now, is the pec like deep in here? Is it like over here? Or
that's all pec. It's all pec.
The whole thing is a pec.
Yeah. So like mine, if we're comparing nipples here, mine tore from the tendon tore from the bone.
Yeah. You have remarkably small nipples.
Really?
I think so. Do you think your nipples are average sized?
I wouldn't, say they were small. Maybe I would say average. Yeah, average has nipples. No,
I guess most people do have average sized nipples, but boy, do you notice when they have bigger than average sized nipples, don't you?
That's right, like pepperoni nipples.
Yeah, those things. That'll change your night right there. Big nipples.
That's right.
You just so how was the injury recovery? I know somebody that does like you. You're just used to hustling. You're doing 9 independent shows a day. You're like all over the country. Taking time off for you had to fucking suck.
Well, I didn't take time off, actually. This wasn't a summer vacation. I got hurt in April, and I made sure I was going to be as busy, if not busier than I was when I was wrestling. And luckily, fortunately, and not luckily, I worked my ass off for this. So I was busting my ass, and I'm going to these shows, signing autographs, doing meet and greets, just talking, being the general manager of GCW. Yeah, I can wrestle, and now I'll wrestle since I'm back. But the appeal to Matt Cardona is he can do everything but wrestle. And now that I can wrestle too, man, I'm gonna have to, jump my rate up.
So an injury only takes away a small part of the package when it comes to Matt Cardona.
When it comes to me, some people would be SOL.
Yeah.
And they'd be sitting home, feeling sorry for themselves, doing nothing. Not me.
No, not you.
Not me, no.
Just in the grand scheme of things, when injuries happen, how high up on the list of 1 to 10 is a torn pec? Is that like an 8 in pain, or is that like a 10?
Oh man, I mean, I never tore my pec before. Yeah. And when I did it, I knew instantly.
Oh, really? You did like it cross your mind? It could be anything else. You was like,
I just tore my pec.
Yeah.
It was in the middle of the ring. It was in a match. I finished the match because I'm so tough. But yeah, obviously afterwards when I'm cooling down, and of course I didn't miss that meet and greet after.
Yeah.
They wanted to send me to the hospital. I said,
there was money at the meet and greet, right?
Right. Send me to the hospital for what? To tell me that my pec's torn? I know it's torn. Well, I know something's messed up. I'll go to Orlando tomorrow and find out. There's money to be made. And not only that, listen, we joke about the money. It's not a joke, but there were fans who were waiting to meet me, and I was going to leave them hanging. No, I was not going to do that. So if you ask anybody who was there, first of all, I'm a righty, tore my right pec. I'm signing autographs. I'm in pain, but they sat through this whole show to meet me. I wasn't going to leave them hanging.
Next question. Do you ever get tired of Chelsea Green's shit?
Like her actual feces or her BS?
Her BS, more her behavior, not her actual fecal matter.
To be honest, I've never even like smelt her fart. Like I think she might
But no,
not.
no. Again, you keep talking about the actual, the physical product. I'm talking about. You ever get tired of her nonsense? How about nonsense?
Sometimes there's some nonsense, but I give her a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're both used to it by now. It's been almost 8 years. We're married.
I think you both could do better.
Really?
Nah, it's just a quote from The Office. I wanted to get in there.
I'm not an Office fan. I'm not an Office fan. I'm just not an Office fan.
Well, that was a Dwight Schrute quote. You would have appreciated it. Boy, if you watched The Office, you'd be laughing hysterically right now.
I'll pretend I watched it. I'll pretend.
What's that figure you got right there?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up.
You told me I'm not doing this unless you bring the figure up.
Well, listen, I hate to toot my own horn, but toot. This past Sunday at GCW, I made wrestling figure history because for the first time ever, somebody, me, debuted new ring gear and had a new figure in that gear for sale at the very same time. You can pick it up right now. The prehistoric Matt Cardona, still here, available, super7.com. It's never been done before. Other companies have tried. It's never been done.
So how many people are trying to make wrestling figure history?
Well, you would think Mattel, who makes the WWE, Jazzwares, who makes the AEW. So the 1 and 2 in the wrestling world.
I'll be goddamn. You had an answer ready for me.
I'm always ready.
I was just being a smart ass little bitch right there. Sorry, my bad. Question number 2. How awesome was Sid? Sid was awesome, wasn't he?
Man,
he was so fucking awesome.
Survivor Series 96, I'm there, Madison Square Garden, and I'm there with my zebra Shawn Michaels biker hat. I'm there to support the champ. And the whole garden, myself included, just turned on Shawn Michaels, started cheering for Sid. Sid takes a camera, nails Jose Lothario with the camera, and we're cheering for him.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when Sid wins the title, I take my zebra hat, I throw it down, I drop to a knee, and I do the Sid pose in Madison Square Garden. What a night.
So Sid in the stretch of one match was able to get you to disavow Shawn Michaels.
Not just me, Madison Square, the entire city of New York.
Yeah, that was awesome. He also headlined my favorite WrestleMania ever is WrestleMania 8. That's my favorite one ever. It's not the best, but it's just my favorite. So he headlined that. Sid was fucking awesome. And I'm from Mississippi. One time I was home from school and on the mid lunch show, they had a wrestler come in and do an interview for the little midday show on the local dick licking station. And Sid is in his Lord Humongous mask, and he picks up the guy. He picks up the guy named Jeffrey Rupp, who's the little whistle dick guy, and he slams him up against the studio wall, and he breaks the wall, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's all the man. I just posted some photos on Instagram that I found. Like I met him as a fan backstage at a wrestling show just after he won the title. He's like a monster, vicious, literally Sid Vicious, and the coolest, nicest guy to myself and my 2 brothers. What a tragedy.
I think I'm not in the wrestling business, so I don't know if it's an insult.
You have a wrestling show, Rasslin.
Yeah, we're doing what we can. I'm not in the business as a performer, even though I am more charismatic than most. My thing is, Sid, when he walked through a curtain, and he was one of the most awe-inspiring, just looking dudes you've ever seen. Like, even if he couldn't step inside and physically walk a step, he looked like $1 billion. I fucking loved Sid, man. Sid was awesome.
He always had a great tan, which I really respected. Yeah,
that does seem very, very high up on your priorities.
Right now, I'm kind of pale right now.
You are a little pale.
As we're recording, it's a Thursday. I'm actually tanning tonight for my shows for this weekend. I'll tan in the bed and spray twice the triple dip.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, Matt, the sun's not out at night. You can't tan at night.
Well, yeah, I'll go to the
now. Question.
Salon.
When you say the triple dip, okay, the tan in the bed and spray twice. Is that spray? Bed spray, or is that bed spray?
Bed spray.
It's bed spray.
You go in the bed, it opens up your pores, and then you spray in the booth, and then you go again. So it's triple dip.
I have been backstage.
You should try it.
You
should try it.
I'm 45. I have 4 kids, and I'm a heart attack waiting to happen. What's the fucking point? What would be the point of me getting a tan right now?
Well, when I was injured, sometimes I would get what I called a confidence tan. I didn't necessarily need one. I'm wearing a suit at some of
Yeah.
these shows. I'm not wearing ring gear. I'm not wearing trunks, but I would still get that confidence tan.
So you would get a tan just to remind yourself that you're that dude?
That's right. A confidence tan.
And that works?
It worked for me.
Ballpark figure. Ballpark figure. You don't have to go into business because I know you're a money guy. Okay. You're a money guy.
Yeah.
How much would you say you spend on tanning related issues in a given year?
Not that much, honestly, because I have a package. I think it's like $45 a month for unlimited tanning. And then sometimes if I'm on the road, I need to get a touch up here and there. I'll go to Target or random tanning salon. So not that much, really.
So you have a package for tanning. Do you have to pay extra to tan your package?
You do not have to pay extra, believe it or not.
Okay.
It's included.
I didn't know. Say these are things I don't know. I don't know if you have to pay a dick fee or not. So it's not, I'm not kind of, beat around the bush here. You gave an interview a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but apparently you said, hey, my goal is to be in a major company by the end of this year. And I guess you kind of left that vague and whatnot. I guess my question here is, how realistic do you think that, it sounds like an insulting question, but how it does, I'm trying to formulate in my mind, how realistic should fans be about expecting to see you in a AEW, WWE, or any other company ring by the end of this year?
I think it's extremely realistic. I mean, earlier this year, I just showed up on Collision, had my dream match with Adam Copeland, took him to his limit, got a holy shit chant on the entrance alone.
Yeah.
And, I think everyone is expecting me to return to WWE eventually. And of course, that'd be the end goal, to either be an AEW or WWE, but it all comes down to the two C's, C plus C equals C, cash plus creative equals Cardona. I don't want to just be another guy on the roster, been there, done that. And there's people who do that now, and that's fine. No problem with that. But for me, at this point in my career, I want more than that. I want to be able to sink my teeth into something.
I guess when I said realistic, it almost sounds like an insulting question. I was like meaning to like you have said multiple times that the cash and creative, like they gotta, it can't just be an offer. It has to be the offer, right? It has to be the opportunity. It can't be a moment. It has to be the moment. That's all correct, right?
Right. I mean, listen, I when I got released from WWE 4 years ago, my whole goal was, well, what can I do? Let me take that back. My goal was not, well, what can I do to get back there? I just knew I had to forget about WWE, forget about AEW, just focus on myself and rebuild, rebrand. And I think I've successfully done that. But now it's time, coming back from this injury. Listen, I've done everything there is to do on the indies. I've been the independent wrestler of the year 2 years in a row, cover of the PW. I did it, won all the titles. I did. There's titles in my closet right now. I don't even know what promotions they're for. You know what I'm saying? I did it. Been there, done that. So I think now it's the time to go to a major TV company. I don't know if major TV company God has the same ring to it as indie God, but we'll figure something out.
No, I bet you can figure. I mean, whichever company it is, you can just say I'm a blank God, like whether I'm a WWE God or AEW God. Or although I guess JBL had the God thing in WWE.
My buddy, the wrestling guy JBL, who I just brought to GCW. I don't know if you watched that.
I've seen clips.
That's all that matters. You saw clips.
One time I tried to come to a GCW show in Manhattan, and you hooked it up for me, and they gave me standing room only tickets. And let me tell you something, Matt. I'm past the point in my life where I'm doing standing room only.
Right.
This ass got to have a chair, and I'm not even saying that as an ego thing. I fucking die. If I had to stand for 3 hours while you were out there doing your whole thing, this crowd's gonna suck my dick or whatever.
I didn't say that.
You know whatever it is that you be doing. Let's see what else was gonna ask you. Do you still is the Stephanie Lander thing still going on?
It's still going, yeah, which is weird because in TNA wrestling, she's married to PCO.
Yeah.
She didn't ask my permission about that. What she doesn't realize is that when I plucked her out of obscurity in Australia, she signed a contract with me. She has to, she has to ask my approval for things. So I did not give her consent for this marriage. So there's some big problems in TNA, but over GCW, she's still on my side. But it's a little complicated. That's what the kids say. It's complicated.
I'm just writing a wrestling storyline in my head, but I just think it's hilarious if like old fashioned Beyonce, like PCO had to call you and ask for her hand in marriage.
None of that happened. None of that happened.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine like calling somebody's dad and saying, "Hey, I'd like to marry your daughter." PCO calling you and asking you that would have been fucking hilarious. And
I think so, and well deserved.
What else you got going on? I know you got you're planning to be in a major company in a couple of months and probably going to be making a lot of money, and you'll be like a lot of people. That as soon as you get in a major company, you won't want to talk to us anymore, Chelsea Green. Can you pass that message along? By the way, she was just a great friend of this podcast. Now she.
Now we're talking about my wife.
No, I'm just saying. I'm asking you to pass that along. She was a great friend of the podcast, and then she's she's huge. She's blowing up.
Well, you stopped the podcast for a while.
Oh, okay, Matt. Well, first of all,
what is this, like episode 3 of the return? What is it?
Let me ask you a question. When you got released from WWE, did you say, "Oh, I stopped WWE"? No, it wasn't your choice. It wasn't my choice either. Like these fucking idiots at Barstool, I was hitting numbers out of the park, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know about that." Where are we at? What are we talking about?
What else am I doing? Listen, I have the Major Wrestling Figure podcast where myself, Brian Myers, we talk about wrestling figures every single week. We have our own toy company, Major Bendies. It makes 2 different types of figures. Look, I got them right here because I'm always ready. These are the Major Bendies right there. That's me, of course. Look at the tan.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that QR code on my crotch. You can scan it. It works. And then we do the big rubber guys, kind of like the old school ones from the 80s. So we have a bunch of those. And if you go to majorbendies.com, you could order them. I'm actually trying to pitch Dave Portnoy. We're trying to get him in the line. You think he'd go for it?
If it's a figure of him and it pleases his ego and he can make a single dollar off of it, yes, I think he would go for it.
Can we put on the screen? Do we have that image? Because we have it. I'm always ready.
You got it. Let me
check your phone. Check your phone, Brandon. Check your phone.
The good news, the good news about a Dave Portnoy action figure, if it's like this big, it can be life size because
that's
tiny.
Bro.
Okay. What? Come on. What are we doing here?
What do you mean?
Steph, I'm about to hold it up real quick. He's not that muscular. What is that?
He looks jacked.
Yeah, I know he looks jacked. Have you ever
the slice? One bite. Everyone knows the rules. With the dog, the speeches. Look at that.
You get in there, Stephanie.
That's toyetic right there. That's. You smell that money? I can just smell it.
God, and that, you know what the sad part is? That would make a lot of money. You know what? You want me to text that image to him right now?
Please do it. And you know what? If this sells well, we can do you. We do a whole Barstool line.
No, I don't want to be the loose change here. I don't be like, oh, by the way, if you make me a lot of money, I'll throw you a little pity.
Well, I feel like the loose change. I wasn't the first guest on your new comeback show.
I'm not your pity fuck, Matt Cardona. I'm not your pity fuck. I was just kidding. I'd be your pity fuck. So yeah. God damn it. That sucks.
Looks good, right? Looks good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Credit to you. Did you just adopt a new dog?
I did. Man, so we have 2 dogs, 3 cats, and Chelsea, she was following this pet rescue page on Instagram and saw this little puppy Paisley, who was viciously attacked on her first day at her new home. This is not a joke. I know this is a funny podcast, but
we can say things.
Yeah, went into seizures, had skull fractures, fractured jaw, and the owners just dropped off this vet and basically said, take her.
Yeah.
And left her there. Pretty much left her for dead. But the staff at this vet, nursed her back to health, taught her how to walk again, all this stuff. And Chelsea's been following the story, and we went and we met her a couple times, and we took her in. So she's been with us for about a week now, and it's a lot of work. But we're gonna do our best to make it work and give her the best life possible.
That's actually fucking awesome. I will give you a serious statement.
So she's blind. She has mental need, special needs. She has some mental issues, but we're going to work around it and give her the best life possible.
Oh, she sounds like the me of dogs. My wife has to take supreme care of me. I'm bad shape. Let's see. I have a question. So,
yeah. Well, you should. You're interviewing me.
Right. Fair point. AEW, WWE. Do you watch the? You're on the road a lot, so I'm just asking a question.
Yeah.
You watch the major shows like the All In show or the premier live events or whatever they call them at WWE. Obviously, your wife works for one of them, so I'm sure you watch those. But do you watch all the major shows when you can?
Am I sitting down watching the entire whether it's 3 hours or 5 hour show? No, but I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
I do my research. You scroll through your timeline on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know what's going on. I think if you're in this business and you don't know what's going on, you're doing a discredit to yourself. You should know, in my opinion, what your competition is doing. To me, everyone's competition, no matter where they are. So indie wrestling, TNA wrestling, AEW, WWE, I have my finger on the pulse. I have to, because I need to know what my competition is doing. And like I said, I consider everybody competition.
Well, that was actually my next question. So you're like plugged in when you see a guy, maybe sign with one of the places, and you're like, okay, well, check. I know I'm as good as this guy, or I know I'm better than this guy, or I know something. You're always plugged into what's going on and who's going where.
Well, yeah, listen, I don't think I'm really comparing myself to other people. I focus on myself, but yeah, I definitely know what's going on, what other people are doing. When people come to the indie scene, I definitely watch what they're doing, what shows they're doing, what shows they're not doing. And that's how I stay on top of the indies, by being one step ahead of everybody.
Do you believe in Joe Hendry?
Well, his figure is available right now on majorbendies.com.
Well, if this motherfucker can make $1 on it.
So yes, I do.
I suppose you have to.
I do. Available now. The pre-order is the order. I don't know when this drops, but it's when is this going to drop, by the way?
I don't know. I'm just doing this for practice, actually.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Well, if it comes out by the end of August, go to majorbendies.com to get the first ever Joe Hendry figure. The pre-order is the order.
This is the third one back, but I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. You have been the best one since we came back. Okay. So,
well, thank you.
We did Tony Khan, then we did somebody else, and this one has been the best one so far.
Oh, those are great guests, though.
Tony Khan, somebody else?
Yeah.
I put somebody else, so I put him over, man. I don't have many figures. Like I think we've talked before. I never really got into the wrestling figure game, and I don't know why. I do. I was fucking poor and broke as a kid.
Okay.
I do get I got a Yokozuna back there, and I got a couple that are falling by the wayside.
Hey, I'll tell you, I will send you personally one of these Macho Man Big Rubber guys that are available on majorbendies.com, and maybe you'll scratch that figure itch and start collecting other things. Seriously, I will mail this to you personally.
Matt,
tomorrow.
We got to talk about me for a second.
Yeah.
Every Saturday I go mantiquing. Okay. Yeah. That is, I get out of my fucking house away from my wife and kids, and I go and I shop for old sports posters, old movie posters, shit like that. Old starting lineup figures.
Oh yeah.
I do that every weekend. So conditions are very favorable for me to become hooked on shopping for wrestling collectibles like that.
I love that.
And in fact, I bought these at Quake Collectibles in Chicago. You ever been there?
Oh, great store. It's like a mess with there's stuff all over the place, but it's a good mess.
There's not an inch in that store that's not occupied by a figure.
Great. Store. I love it.
And I haven't been up there for a while because it's 20 minutes out of my way, and I have to go home and I have to eat. Wrestling figures. I really got to get into it. I'm just so lazy. I got money though. I'm doing good.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing pretty good, right?
No, I'm doing damn good. I'm doing damn good.
Oh, great.
Are you friends with Cody Rhodes? Did I hear that somewhere?
Yeah. Well, he hasn't texted me back in a couple of weeks. I think he's a little mad at me, but other than that, I'd say yes. Good, close personal friend. Yeah.
I tell you, all the people ever since they canceled my show, all the people that don't text me back.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Me and MJF used to text all the time. He doesn't text me back anymore.
Yeah. Damn.
I'm just kidding. He started texting me back yesterday.
Well, the show's back.
Yeah, the show's back. So I guess without a show, there's no reason to text me.
Sure.
Yeah. You know what? Cody texted me one time. This is a true story.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes, I interviewed. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Cody Rhodes, I interviewed back right when at the tail end of AEW. And the last thing he said to me was, "You guys are not going to believe what my next move is." And I was like, all right, cool. I guess you're going to wrestle for an AEW title or something. And then he did WrestleMania and 3 months later.
There you go. He was giving you the scoop.
I got his number that day and I didn't think about it. And 3 months after that, after he's in WWE, my dad dies. And I'm not saying that for sympathy. My dad died and I was just sitting there. Cody Rhodes texted me and gave me like a 3-message note saying, "Man, I saw that on Twitter," and yada yada yada. It was very, very, very classy fucking stuff. I've never told anybody that, but that was I just
Cody's
thought that's
a classy guy.
Yeah, and you know who else? They bought me a cameo when that happened of Mick Foley, and Mick Foley, they asked him for a 30-second cameo saying, "Hey, this guy's dad died." Mick Foley sent me a 7-minute video.
Wow.
Detail. Yeah, that wrestling's full of some awesome fucking people, is what I'm trying to say.
That is 100% true. And those are two great guys.
Did
Can
that
we
get
talk
weird?
about me, though? Can we talk about me? How great.
Did that get weird for a second?
No, but it's like.
No, you're right. You're right. Let's talk about Matt Cardona. Because when my dad died, Matt Cardona didn't text me a goddamn thing.
I don't know if I had your number yet.
And we didn't know each other at all.
Okay.
Are you still carrying a hairdryer to every show?
Yes, I am, actually. It's always in my bag. Because when I do my hair at these shows, you just need one to do. Because when I do my hair, let's say, I'm wearing a hat, I got to wet my hair, like fresh out of the shower look, then I got to blow dry it. And then I put the product in, you can't towel dry it.
I was at a Creative Pro show with Matt a couple of years ago, and his wife Chelsea was there. I think Chris Statlander was there, and there were a couple other lady wrestlers, and they had a locker room, and Chelsea was walking out, and I needed a hairdryer to fluff my hair up. I said, "Hey Chelsea, you got a hairdryer?" And she said, "No." And then I said, "Will you ask them?" And went through all the ladies, and then they said no, and I was like, "Fuck." And then Cardona walks by and goes, "You say hairdryer?" "Yeah, I got one in the bag." And I walk over, and it's just she's got every cosmetic product you could possibly have in a suitcase was in that bag.
Anything you could think of that you could possibly need, I have in that bag. Scissors, oatmeal, a suit steamer. I got it all.
Why would anybody need oatmeal?
After the gym to mix with your protein, get extra carbs.
All right. So what I've been doing lately, I walk for 45 minutes every morning, and then I do about 15 minutes of lifting, and I have a protein shake afterwards. And I lost 11 pounds over the last 2 months.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That's not about you, though. I should probably focus more about you, shouldn't I? Because you're not interviewing. You're not interviewing me. I'm interviewing you.
That's true. But listen, I love people's, when they're winning, when they're changing their bodies for, to better themselves. I love hearing that.
GCW, you just made your return and everything. What's next on the agenda in the short term for that?
Well, it's complicated because while I was injured, I was the general manager and I was, making the shows, booking the matches. And now that I'm back, it's kind of a conflict of interest to be the man with the pencil and the man in the ring. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if Brett Lauderdale is going to make me relinquish that GM role. But if he does, so be it. Because like I said, I'm back. My dream wasn't to be a general manager. My dream was to be a wrestler and perform at the highest level. And now that I'm back, I feel like I haven't missed a beat. Listen, it was just one match, but I felt great in there. I was a little nervous about my pec going into it because the surgeons, they said, "You'll be out 6 to 8 months." I said, "No way. I'm going to be out for 4 months." Because once I got hurt, I took my Chelsea Green paper calendar and I circled that date of GCW Homecoming. And I said, "I'm going to work my ass off to get back by this date." And I did. And one of the great things about being an independent pro wrestler is that the doctor that cleared me for this match, believe it or not, is Dr. Matt Cardona. And he said, "Matt, I think you're going to be okay." And luckily I was.
Do you have a paper calendar of the woman you currently live with?
That's right. And it's a little awkward. Listen, okay. I don't, first of all, she's my wife. Okay. I don't just,
I know that. But just the fact that she's like sitting over there on the couch and you're like looking at the calendar. Wow.
Well, it gets more strange because I don't keep anything like on a cell phone. Like all my dates have to be in this calendar and I bring it with me everywhere. So it's all like beat up, right? It's been through everything. So if like I'm at an airport and I got a promoter email me, "Hey, are you available this day?" I take out my calendar and I say, "Oh, yes, I am." No, not. But I don't realize like she's like half naked, all these photos, and I'm taking the calendar out, I'm checking. People give me the, side eye, or maybe they're looking at her.
You've been doing the GM stuff. Who's the best on-screen wrestling GM of all time?
I think it's got to be Teddy Long or the original Eric Bischoff. Maybe
Yeah.
tie between them two.
Yeah. You don't think Foley's got a say in it back in like 2000?
He was the commissioner though.
We're splitting hairs at this point, aren't we?
Well, you asked. Well, I don't think so. Different roles.
Yeah, but GM and commissioner play this. They do the same thing.
I think there needs to be like Foley was great, especially Commissioner Foley. I think he was a general manager like years later. Yeah, Commissioner Foley did great stuff. But yeah, for general manager, because that was your question, I would say Eric Bischoff the original time or Teddy Long.
All right, so we're gonna go best commissioner Foley, best GM Bischoff or Long. Best president, we're gonna go Jack Tunney.
I go Gorilla Monsoon over Jack Tunney.
All right, we're gonna go Monsoon. I don't know. Tunney was mine back in the day, like they were getting me started. I guess Monsoon for president. All right. Is there any other title they had? President, commissioner, GM. Oh, Austin's the best sheriff.
Okay.
Remember that bullshit?
Yes. As Zack Ryder, I was the assistant to the general manager. So I think I'm the best. Zack Ryder was the best assistant to the general manager.
Wait a minute. You mean assistant general manager?
No, the assistant to the general manager.
You said you don't like The Office. That's a direct Office quote.
I didn't write the story.
That's Dwight Schrute goes around saying he's the assistant regional manager, and they always say, no, you're the assistant to the regional manager.
Oh, okay. Well,
you were Dwight Schrute. You didn't even know it.
I didn't even know it.
He owned a
lot of Office references here.
I deal almost exclusively in references.
Okay.
I'm also wearing a Hacksaw Jim Duggan shirt.
You know what you should do? You should pick up the new Hacksaw Jim Duggan big rubber guy.
How many figures are just sitting right there? If I met any wrestler in the world,
or you get it with the USA face paint. Ho! Okay. With the 2x4s. Comes with 2x4s, of course.
Can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
If you do send me the Macho Man, can I also have the face paint Duggan?
Yes, I will. I'm not even bullshitting you. I will text my guy after this. Okay. But you need to promise me you'll post it on your social media.
I got it. I'm gonna post all of it. I do everything.
All right, I'll send you Macho and the Duggan.
I gotta test this out because apparently if I just say a wrestler, a genie appears on your desk and
no. I mean my
Coco Beware.
I don't have him on me. I don't. I have Chelsea Green as the gobbledygooker.
Why?
Why not?
It's good. It's a good point. Not to keep asking about Chelsea Green. Not to keep asking about her. But you tweeted something about 2 hours ago. You want to? I'm not even going to say it because it sounds weird coming out of my mouth. Just you want to take me through this tweet and what led you to tweet this?
I believe the tweet. I was doing a little Q&A, which I like to do to interact with my fans, and it was like favorite wrestling moves to take.
Yeah.
So I wrote a stink face by Chelsea Green.
You can see where that's A, hysterical, and B, like I can't ask.
How else am I supposed to answer that? Wrestling hurts, guys. Like, ooh, newsflash, a choke slam hurts, right? Okay. A power bomb hurts. A body slam hurts.
What finishing move do you least like to take?
Any move. Wrestling hurts. God damn it! I tore my pec clotheslining somebody. Wrestling is dangerous. So my favorite move to take would be a stink face by my wife, Chelsea Green.
Let's just wander back together. You remember in Rikishi's heyday, right? You know, he stink face. Did they have special cleaner or something? How did they cover it? How did it work? How did it work is my question.
I never took a Rikishi stink face, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
But that's a lot of butt right there.
Do you ever wonder, like, that's gross? I don't know why everybody signed up to take that.
You know, I'm not upset that I missed the Attitude Era for that very reason.
Yeah, but
that's kind of the tail end of the Attitude Era. What do you think? Let's talk about this.
Yeah,
when does the Attitude Era start? Like, what's the year that it starts, and what's the year that it ends?
So there's two schools of thought on when it starts. Okay, and I think some people say it started like in '97 when Brett did the whole, the promo where he's like, "Screwed isn't the goddamn word for it," and Austin's flipping the bird, and DX comes later in '97. You could take the whole of '97 and everything, and I can't ignore the NWO either. But you take the whole of '97 and say that was the jumping off point, or you could take one moment and it was Austin doing the promo at King of the Ring. But to me, that's not.
No, that's way too early.
To me, that's 96? Not the jumping off point because it didn't really get going until like a year later.
Right. I think '97 is definitely where we started writing that Attitude Era.
You want the exact moment? Because it might be like right after SummerSlam when Austin is like on the rocket ship, right? Like he's going crazy, but now other people are joining in the way he acts. Like now that's when Sean and Hunter form DX. They start doing their thing, and you start getting everybody else is kind of pulling in the same direction Austin was pulling for like a year.
Yeah. So we're saying like late '97.
I would say after SummerSlam '97.
Okay. All right.
Because I think the first Stunner at events was September 22nd, '97 in the Garden.
The Garden, I was there.
Did you go to every show in the Garden? Did you go, Rich?
I was not rich. I did not go to every show. I went to a lot of them. I used to go by myself because my friend, like wrestling, it was obviously when I'm like 4, 5, 6 years, everyone loves it. Then nobody likes it except for
Yeah,
me. Then it's
correct.
like hot in the Attitude Era, and I hated people. I called them 98ers. You
Yeah,
know, like Kofi Kingston, a 98er. You know, someone who likes wrestling when it's
yeah.
hot. Yeah, you have to like it when it's like the in your house days. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? And not when it's like in your house bad blood. I'm saying just in your house too. You know, you
yeah.
need to like in your house too.
Like good friends, better enemies, shit like that.
Right, 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 right.
Okay. So I was 10 years old, and I was 8 years old in 87. That was the height of Hulk Hogan. That was WrestleMania and everything. And by 92, I'm 13 years old. Okay. And I thought at 13, 14, the wrestling wasn't cool. All the kids, it wasn't cool with them anymore. And I kind of fell out between like 93, 94, 95. I would check in on it every now and then, but I kind of fell out. But then when Hogan turned heel in 96, I just said, fuck it. I don't care if y'all like it or not. I'm all the way back in. And when I got all the way back in, I went back and retraced my steps and made sure,
Got it.
you know, Brett's rise, Sean's rise,
So you went to
all of
Blockbuster.
that. And yeah, at some point when I was like 18, I just came to this realization, like, fuck it. I don't care if guy down the street's a fan. I don't care if the girl at the bar's a fan. I'm going to be a fan of this stuff for the rest of my fucking life.
There you go. I love
And
that.
now, when did the Attitude Era end? Another school of thought says it ended at WrestleMania X7 with Austin Rock. I think it lingered a little further.
I would say it lingers a little bit further. Yeah.
You think it bumps right up to Ruthless Aggression when Cena showed up?
No, there's like a weird era in between the two.
So they
Right?
did that Invasion that summer, right?
Yeah. So the Invasion is 2001.
2001. They
Yeah.
kind of do it between, they do the whole thing between Mania and Survivor Series. And then
Yeah.
Survivor Series is when Flair shows up. And then it's just kind of weird for like 6 months. You're kind of right
Sure.
about that.
Then
But
you get the draft. It's a little chaotic. Then there's
God, I love talking wrestling. Shit's fun. You know who my two favorite wrestlers of all time are?
Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona.
You know who my other two favorite wrestlers of all time are?
I don't know who.
I shout out to Chelsea Green. I took my daughter to Chicago SmackDown, and we sat in the front row. Thanks to WWE for the tickets. And Chelsea was wrestling on live TV, and she kept looking at my daughter and like winking when.
Oh, that's nice.
She was very nice. Macho Man Randy Savage and The Rock.
Macho Man's my number one as well, so we share something in common.
Mr. Perfect is also way up there.
Yep.
I love Mr. Perfect.
One of the best.
Jericho's way up there.
Yeah, I wrote the forward for one of his books. You know that?
I don't think Mr. Perfect wrote any books.
No, Jericho.
Which one?
I'm not quite sure which one it was, but I wrote it. It was the bonus forward.
It's your attention to detail that sets you apart.
He's wrote so many goddamn books. I don't know which one it was.
Yeah, he has written a lot of books.
Yeah. I've thought about it, but no, not yet.
When you get back in the game, not back in the game. Again, that's a wrong way because you're in the game right now. You're top of the indie, like you're the indie guy. You're
That's right.
But when you've stated that you want to get back to a major company, when that happens, you think you got 10 years left? You think you got 20 years left? You think you got 5 years left? What do you think?
I think my body feels great. I mean, listen, I just got back from an injury, but I feel awesome right now. And I feel like you see so many guys like Jericho, like Adam Copeland, like Christian performing at this extremely high level in their 50s. You know, I'm only 39. So I feel like a lot of time on my side. I feel like I haven't even hit my prime, but at the same time, I'm also not getting any younger. So like, that's why I have to attack every indie show like it's a big deal. I can't treat it like, oh, it's just another show. I need to attack every single show like it's a big deal. Because if it's not a big deal to me, it's not going to be a big deal to anybody else.
I'm glad you mentioned him. It's kind of absurd how good Christian still is at this shit, right?
I hate to admit it, but yeah, it's absurd.
Like and I know Adam Copeland is also still great. Jericho's still great, but like Christian is, I would argue, like the last 2 or 3 years has been like almost the best work of his career, which is shocking given how good his career has been. But it's been fucking phenomenal. And
wild.
I've been trying to get him in here to interview, and he won't do it. He keeps he texted me back and said, "No, your dad's dead."
Oh my God. I actually believe he would text something like that.
No, he didn't. But in my mind, he did go heel on me and do that. He would never text me because I don't have his number, and I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed within 500 feet of a wrestling locker room. All right, what else you got? You got anything else for me?
I mean, it's your interview, right?
Okay, yeah, I'm just talking. We're
I mean,
just talking.
I could plug myself all day. You know, I got so much.
Pause.
Oh, so you did there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You did that.
So, the next couple of weeks, you got any big shows for GCW? You got any big shows that aren't GCW? Where are you going to be?
Oh, I have so many big shows. I mean, this weekend, TNA Wrestling in Kentucky. Next weekend, you're going to love this. First Wrestling in Minneapolis. I'm wrestling in the Mall of America.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I did a first wrestling show before I was even cleared, and I won their championship in street clothes. My hat didn't even come off. That's how good I am that I won a title while I was injured and my hat stayed on.
I'm not even joking. How many titles do you have right now?
Honestly, too many. Like when I say that there's titles in my closet collecting dust, that's not a joke.
You have any like long road trips where you got to take 3 or 4 at a time? How do you get those
Yes.
security and everything? I guess you just got to check all that shit, right?
No, you can't. No, you can't check your gear. You can't check your titles. You can't check your gear. No way.
You never check your gear
on the way home. Maybe.
Okay.
Never. You can't. It's a rookie move to check your gear going to a show. Rookie move.
That's putting your shit in somebody else's hands, and you're not guaranteed to get it back.
How many times do you lose a bag? I mean, I lose bags all the time. If I were to lose my gear, that's on me.
The Mall of America, you're wrestling there. So everybody knows the first Nitro was in Mall of America.
That's right.
Who was the very first trivia question? Who was the first match ever on the Nitro?
It's Pillman and somebody?
I have no fucking idea. I'll have to look.
I don't know. That's just my guess. I want to say it's like Pillman versus like Jushin Light. No, that's not it. I don't know.
Was Boss Man, not whatever they called him then, was Boss Man in it?
He
Or was he he might have been in the main event against Hogan in the first.
Yeah, is he like the Guardian Angel then, or Big Bubba? I don't know what he is by that point.
I don't know. Names. I think it was Big Bubba at that point. He went through. Oh, you know what? First match in WCW Nitro history.
Yeah.
Brian Pillman defeated Jushin Thunder Liger.
Oh my God, that's it! I had goosebumps. Hey, like The Rock. That's impressive. That's pretty good.
That was a good ass pull. Like I wasn't.
That was. I pulled that right out of my ass.
I'll be goddamn. The match in controversy is Arn Anderson interjected himself into the proceedings, which is what Arn will do if we're being honest.
Sure. You know, Arn Anderson is coming to the Big Rubber Guys line in January, available on majorbendies.com.
Is there anybody who's not coming to the Big Rubber Guys line?
Yeah, anyone who's signed to AEW or WWE is not coming.
Okay. So if they are free and clear to do business with somebody else, you've got them on the.
Yes. Well, we're trying our best for sure. Like we've done everybody. We've done Ric Flair, Andre the Giant, Macho Man. We're trying to make all the legends that don't have WWE Legends deals or AEW deals. We're trying to, I know you didn't collect these figures in the 80s, but we're trying to make the figures that didn't come out. Like, for instance, we're making a Bad News Brown who's supposed to come out. They never made him, so we're doing him. Then we're like redoing guys. Like they made Hacksaw. We're making them better. And then we're adding some guys from like different eras. Like we did a Dusty Rhodes from NWA or Road Warriors from NWA. It doesn't quite fit with the WWF figures, but if I was a kid, I would want everybody, so that's what we're trying to do here.
Well, let me ask you this. You're a businessman. How much of what you're doing with that is earning $1 and how much of it is just pure fucking love of the game?
I would say it's 50-50. Like of course I love making money, but I love doing this.
Yeah.
Like when I have like business calls, right? Oh, sorry, Charles. I have this meeting at 2:30 and I'm on the phone with the warlord. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like it's great. Yeah, that's great.
I didn't even think of that. I didn't.
Right. Like,
sorry, honey. I'll be 15 minutes late to dinner. Me and the warlord got to chop it up for a second. I forgot the warlord existed.
But that's my life. We're making these figures for, and like, even when we gave Hacksaw Jim Duggan his first royalty check, like to see him and his wife, they lit like, oh my God, to do that for these performers. And then, Hacksaw's been fortunate. He's had so many figures over the years, but there's guys that we're making literally their first ever figure, their second figure. For instance, Missy Hyatt, we're making her in January, majorbendies.com. She's been in the business 40 years. It's her first ever wrestling figure. So that's cool that we're getting to do that for her. But yeah, selfishly for me, I want a Missy Hyatt wrestling figure.
Yeah. No,
and I also want the money.
That's really fucking awesome. Like I also love collecting old stuff like that, but I've never had the platform to be able to turn it into something that you have where you can A, make $1 and B, just make awesome things for people who have done so much for everybody else.
Well, yeah, when Brian Myers and I started the Major Wrestling for a podcast, it's been about 6 years. We just celebrated 6 years. No listen to this, never missed a week. Every single week, no like bullshit bonus, no best of a new episode every single week. It's like, as you know, that's hard work to never miss a week for 6 years.
Well, you know, I'm kind of jealous of it because I have missed a week because these fucking idiots at Barstool said stop doing the wrestling podcast.
Well, I'm sure now it's back because wrestling's so hot.
I had 6 straight videos over 100,000 views. I had 3 straight over 200,000 views, and they were like, no, we don't want the money. We don't want that. They're fucking idiots, is what they are. Wrestling is hot right now, isn't it?
It is the best time. Listen, I've been in the business as a wrestler. This is my 20th year. In the 20 years that I've been in the business, it has never been hotter. Now you could say, oh, Attitude Era was hot. Well, I wasn't in the business for Attitude Era, so I can't speak to that. But since I've been in the business, there's the most opportunity, the most money out there, whether you're an AEW, WWE, TNA, or the independents. There is work everywhere. And as a fan, there's wrestling everywhere. There's podcasts like this everywhere. You know, like there's wrestling on every single night of the week, whether it be live, whether it be on television, whether it be on a streaming service. This is the best time to be a wrestler or a wrestling fan.
No, to me, it's one of the most fun ever for the exact reason. I don't understand people who are WWE fans or AEW fans or TNA fans. Like, I understand liking what you like. I am somebody that likes to watch everything.
Yeah.
The fact that you have so many choices and so many presentations and so many different divisions of people and so many, like, there's so much out there for the consumer. And then it's not just the wrestling products. You're right. There's some, you know, Conrad Thompson's got excellent wrestling podcasts.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so many excellent wrestling media, so much wrestling media out there. It's fucking amazing time. My daughter's turning 16 years old this year, and I have 3 sons, and none of them ever got into wrestling, but she did. And like, she just consumes it and consumes it and consumes it. I get to see it through her eyes. It's a remarkable time to be a wrestling fan.
And also with social media, right? Like, obviously as a wrestler, especially an independent wrestler, it's free advertisement for me. It's the way I drive my business. But also, like, if you're a fan and you want to tell Matt Cardona that I suck, you can tweet it, and 9 times out of 10, I'll probably see it. You know, if it like Attitude Era, if you wanted to tell, you know, Rikishi he sucked, but you hold up a sign, you know, right? Or if you have this awesome fan art, if you drew this awesome painting or picture, you can tweet it to that wrestler, post it. They'll probably see it. It's like, it's the interaction, the social part of the social media. I think people miss that a lot. Like, you can really interact with your favorite wrestler in a good way or a bad way.
Yeah, the accessibility is phenomenal. The wrestling community is phenomenal. Of course, there are some assholes on Twitter that try to ruin it. They try to ruin it for everybody, and they try to hate on everybody. But the good usually rises above that shit and drowns it out.
I agree.
Now, podcasts like mine, I'm just a pure hater. Fuck them all. All right, that's all I got, man. I think this was a good talk. Unless you want to talk more 1980s to 90s tag teams.
Well, I mean, we do have Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard coming out in January. And in November, Rock and Roll Express. We got, I don't want to spoil, we have the whole lineup for 2025. I don't want to list everybody. The Islanders are signed, you know, Tonga Kid, Haku, you know.
Is there anything I can say? Is there any wrestler I can say that you haven't worked with? Let's see. I remember in 1991, I was watching a match with Big Josh and PN News.
I have not worked with them in person. I have their action figures though. I have their toy. I haven't worked with them personally, no.
All right, that's what I got, man. Listen, you're killing it on the independent scene. Whatever your plans are for the future, I'm sure everybody's going to be excited. It's going to be awesome. But you know, you're one of the most accessible wrestlers I've ever seen. What you've built has been fucking amazing, and it's been an honor to talk with you right now.
Well, I appreciate it. And at the end of the day, you know, I'm just a diehard, lifelong wrestling fan. So all this kind of comes easy to me. I think, like, well, what would I want as a fan? What would I want my wrestler to be like? How would I want him to interact with me? And that's why a lot of this, you know, when it comes to the merchandise or like the meet and greets, like, I want to be the guy that if I was a fan would look up to or want to support. So that's why it just kind of comes so natural to me, because I'm a fan at heart at the end of the day.
Rank your traps among other wrestlers.
You know what? I think I have pretty good traps. And I don't train them that often. I think I should train them more, because I think Goldberg is the #1 trap guy, like, in history, maybe. He had some great traps. Goldberg is somebody I'm trying to sign to Big Rubber Guys.
Yeah.
Talks, but the contract's not signed. So if anybody knows Bill wants to put in a good word with us.
I'll talk to him. Me and him talk often.
Okay, great.
That's not true. Trap Guys. I hate to, the name's fresh in my mind because you just said it. Warlord had some fucking traps on him.
Warlord was a beast. Still is.
We've already talked about him. Sid has some fucking traps.
Yes.
Yeah, traps. Yeah, just dudes talking about traps.
What are we gonna talk about next?
Pussy? Just dudes talking.
Tomorrow is arm day, but I'm gonna hit some traps tomorrow.
Get you some traps tomorrow.
Just for this. I'll you know what? I'll post a picture. I'll tag you.
Well, let me see if tomorrow's arm or leg day for me. It's nothing. It's fucking nothing.
Yeah.
tomorrow's workout agenda. Not a goddamn thing.
Oh man. Well, hey, you deserve a day off every once in a while.
You think 45's too late to get in the ring for the first time?
You've been in the ring. You won a battle royal, or you're in a battle royal at Creative Pro, right?
Don't tell me about that because they came. I had one job and I did it so poorly.
I think that we could build, if done correctly, to Brandon versus Matt Cardona in a death match, and I mean that with no LOL. I think we could really do it. I mean, I wrestled Paul Walter Hauser, give him the match of his life. He put me through a flaming table at the end with the help of Bully Ray. But I think
if you and I really worked at this thing, we could get to a point where there's a believable Matt Cardona, Brandon Walker death match.
I 100%. That's how good I am, that I believe we can make that happen. And I believe with Barstool backing it, it could be money.
Well, here's your problem, Matt. Yeah. Barstool has long since decided they're not backing much of this shit.
Well, it doesn't have to be financially, but just a little support. Throw a tweet at, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
We call it a tweet. Do we call it what do we call it now?
I still call it a tweet. I'm going down with the chip. I still call it Twitter. I still call it tweets.
It's very confusing.
You can't say, "Oh, I sent an X last night."
Right. I think is it just a post?
Yeah, I think it's a post. You're right.
Yeah.
But a post could be Instagram. It could be anything.
That's the thing. That's why the tweet.
How's your TikTok game?
I'm on it. I'm not that good, to be honest. I have it because I know I need to have it.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I don't know what I'm doing.
What's your strongest social media? Is it Twitter?
I think Twitter is my strongest.
Yeah, it's my best too. Although I think you're supposed to use Instagram as your best. I think that's supposed to be everybody's best, but I don't get it.
I'm pretty good at Instagram. Here's my philosophy. I just shove shit down people's throats because I want them to know what Matt Cardona is doing. Because I don't have WWE or AEW posting about me. Like if Drew McIntyre wants to, I'm going to put my phone away for a week.
Yeah.
WWE is going to post what he did on Raw. They're going to post the link to his T-shirt. If I don't post for a week, I'm losing thousands of dollars.
Yeah. I mean, social media has been a game changer for so many people. Like it's my entire job almost.
Me too.
15 years ago, it wouldn't be my entire job. Now it is my entire job. And it gets old and it gets tiresome, but it's also the lifeblood of a successful internet career.
Right. Do you think I want to be posting 24/7? Absolutely not.
Oh,
yes. But I have to be, and in 2011, when I started my YouTube show, it was all because of social media. And that's been the backbone of my whole career. And that's why I was able to reinvent myself since being released from WWE, because of social media.
Yeah.
Because if it was just relying on the people who go to these independent shows, well, I'd be fucked. It's because of all the social media and the posting and the buzz and taking the buzz to the next buzz and looking for the next buzz. And
yeah,
that's what you got to do.
Are you still the internet champion or are you more the indie god now? What are you right now?
Well, I'm the internet champion then, now, forever.
Okay.
For sure. And I think, I'm the deathmatch king, the indie god, but now that I'm back, I have to change. I have to evolve. Someone like Chris Jericho, perfect example. Someone who always changes. I don't want to say you're never going to see me walk out the curtain wearing that indie god hat again, but let's just say you're never going to see me wear that indie god outfit again. You're never going to see me wear that deathmatch king outfit again. Yes, I am the deathmatch king. I'm in the indie god, but I need something different. I have something different. It's in my back pocket. I'm going to drop it on the world next week. Hopefully you like it.
You got any plans to come through Chicago anytime soon?
I don't.
Wow. Okay. Well,
unless are you inviting me over?
Yeah, hey, you can come by. You can come by the wrestling headquarters.
Where do you get your pizza in Chicago?
So I live out in the suburbs. I live an hour north of the city. So I go to Antioch Pizza, but I like deep dish. Lou Malnati's is good pizza.
Okay, that's I think, I'm glad you said that.
What?
Lose. I like lose.
I like lose a lot. And people were like, "Oh, deep dish pizza." New Yorkers, man, you New Yorkers like.
No, I love
dish
deep dish.
pizza.
I love deep dish.
What's your favorite pizza in New York?
To me, it's all the fucking same. To be honest, and I lived there forever. Like to me, it's pizza. It's New York pizza. It's all the same. It's all shitty pizza.
To me, John's of Bleecker Street in Manhattan was my favorite.
Yeah.
It's really fucking good. It was coal fired. I've never been up to New Haven and done their pizza, but I'm kind of the same as you. Is like everybody says New York pizza this, Chicago pizza. I feel like if you live in Milwaukee or Denver, you can probably get some good ass pizza.
I agree. I agree. But down in Orlando, we have a Giordano's down here. The Chicago.
That's Chicago,
dish.
yeah.
Yeah. So we have it down here. Everything's in Orlando. So once I tore my pec, the first thing I did was get some deep dish.
Well, was that a good idea? Because you couldn't work it out. You couldn't work it off, right?
Well,
fine.
I ate like absolute dog shit for the first like month or two because, like you said, I couldn't work out and I was afraid of losing size. So I just ate 5 guys. I was eating 5 guys multiple times a week. I would get the cheeseburger, the hot dog, the shake, the fry, because I just needed the calories.
Did you get pudgy like Sean in '94?
I got a little something around the belly, but it's gone now. Because I worked my ass off.
Remember when Sean got a little pudgy?
Sean, did he?
Yeah, it was like late '93. He just
yeah, he was trying to, because the Rockers tag team guy needed to be a little bigger.
Yeah, I guess so. I haven't thought about it. I haven't thought about Shawn Michaels' diet in several years. I really should think more about it.
There was one time when I was in WWE, I was trying to I think I was trying to get to 230 at the time, and maybe I was like 205. So I was on weight gainer, whole milk, blah blah blah. And then if you have your phone out, Google Zack Ryder fat. It's like this horrible photo of me. And like we're on like this Japan tour, and I'm pulling up my tights, and the rope is like right at my chest, so it looks like I have no definition. It's probably like the first photo that comes up when you type in Zack Ryder fat. Do you see it?
Is that it right there at the top?
That's it. That's it.
I mean, Zach, that's not fat though.
I know, but to me, you see what I'm saying? The rope covers my chest, so it looks like I have no definition. I'm exhaling, I'm pulling up my tights. Yeah, it's horrible. After that, I was like, okay, no more whole milk, no more weight gainer. We all go through those times we're trying to gain some weight.
I'm trying to think whose body you look like you have there, because it's not Matt Cardona's.
No, it's like a Scott Steiner, but without the tattoo in the chest.
You look like every wrestler that was new to a territory in like 1988.
I know. I always.
You look like you'd spend about 3 weeks, you'd wrestle the local champion, you'd move on to the next territory. All right.
Holy
I know
shit.
your time is valuable. I appreciate you, man. This is fun. We should do it more often.
We should. Hey, maybe I should be the co-host.
The last person, this is honestly, I'm not joking. You know who the last person who said, I want to be the co-host is before they signed a major deal?
My wife?
Your wife, Chelsea Green. A year or maybe 2 years ago, Chelsea's like, I should be the co-host. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
5 seconds later.
That's bull. I would never leave you. I would never leave you, man.
Yes, you fucking would.
Yes, I would.
Right now, fucking heartbeat.
That's right.
All right, Matt Cardona, internet champion, wrestling god, not wrestling.
Indie
god, deathmatch king, and soon to be all over your TV somewhere if he wants to. I don't know. We'll find out what the second half of the year and everything else holds for him. He's fucking awesome. Check out, plug the figure sites again.
Which one? Should we do majorbendies.com? Should we do super7.com? We can do it all, baby. Buy the figure, scratch that figure itch.
I think we just fucking did. That's Matt Cardona. He's awesome. And this has been Rasslin.